Hey y'all, just wanted to have a quick conversation and chop it up. This comes from two things. The first thing it comes from is a segment that I did before where I was discussing potentially being assaulted by a man after technically rejecting him. Second thing it comes from is a conversation that I had with one of my homegirls yesterday as it pertains to the state of dating. In that conversation, I was in my head and I was thinking like, oh my gosh, it's so hard to date, X, Y, and Z. And I just instantly blurted out and I said, I'm at the point where whether I'm on a date with someone or in that getting to know them phase, I'm instantly asking about their level of emotional intelligence. If their level of emotional intelligence isn't the highest, I'm following that up with, okay, do you have the desire to better your level of emotional intelligence? Because if both of those questions, are answered with no, we don't have anything else to talk about. I'm at a point in my life where emotional intelligence is one of the main things that I require to be on a higher level. So for a lot of people who are listening who may not understand what emotional intelligence is, emotional intelligence is the ability to manage both your own emotions and understand the emotions of the people around you. There are 5 components to emotional intelligence. The first one is social skills, being able to create and maintain healthy relationships. Pretty standard, right? Cool. The second one is self-awareness, the knowledge of one's own thoughts, feelings, and motivations. I believe this is the one that people struggle with. I don't think that a lot of people have self-awareness when it comes to certain situations, and that can potentially be the cause of a lot of the issues. Third one, decision making, the ability to make responsible choices and accept their income. This one I feel like people can potentially have issue with. I think that sometimes when they do make decisions and it doesn't come out the way that they intend it to come out, making further decisions after the fact gets difficult. Empathy, the capacity to empathize and appreciate another perspective. This is an issue. That one right there is an issue. Being able to empathize with people and appreciating their perspective without being argumentative, without feeling like one is right, one is wrong. There are so many different ways to do different things. And so much people are one-dimensional that they're not interested in hearing anything else other than what they know to be right. The final one, self-regulation, the ability to regulate emotions and actions in a variety of environments. This one right here, that's the one. That's the one right there. That's the main one. A lot of these problems are being caused because a lot of people do not know how to regulate their emotions or the actions. That's how we end up in these dangerous situations. That's how we end up in toxic relationships. That's how we end up beefing because of that one, self-regulation. All of us are a work in progress, specifically when it comes to self-regulation. These are very important components to understand and to recognize if any of these components need to be worked on within yourself, myself included. But the desire to want to better your emotional intelligence is the ticket here. Because people are so used to, well, this is me. You don't have to be around me. You don't have to be my friend. You don't have to be my lady, whatever. You don't have to be my man. All of those things. You don't have to talk to me. I don't need to talk to anybody, blah, blah, blah. But that's not healthy. Because regardless of if you're continuously pushing people away in that regard of, you don't have to talk to me, you don't have to be my friend, in life, you're going to encounter relationships. Whether it be with a family member, whether it be with a spouse, whether it be with a friend, whether it be with coworkers, you are going to have consistent relationships. And sitting in this idea of, I don't need to change because nobody needs to be around me, it's so backwards. Because people are going to be around you. When you go to work, you work with people. If you have some kind of event with your family, you're going to be around people. If for some reason your friend from 30 years ago calls and says, hey, it's been a while, I'd like to see you, you're going to be around people. Regardless if you try to nut yourself in a shell, you're going to be around people at some point. When you go out to run your errands, you're going to be around people. You need to be able to maintain your emotions. Things are not always going to go well. You're not always going to react in the best way, but just figuring out how to reel that in and or learn from whatever it is, figure out what your triggers are, figure out what situations are not ideal, figure out who brings out those things in you, and start there, you'll be all right. But that level of emotional intelligence, to me, is so important. And I think a lot of it is missing. A lot of people are not tapping into that emotional intelligence, and it's scary, and it's dangerous, and it's toxic. And at the end of the day, regardless if you feel like, I don't need to change for anybody, it's not even about changing for other people. It's about growing as an individual. Nobody wants to be emotionally stagnant. That's a dark place to be in. That's a sad place to be in. And you find yourself consistently missing out on the happy moments because you're so focused on all the bad moments that you feel like nothing good is happening. When a bunch of good things could be happening, but you're stuck in this bubble that you don't even get a chance to recognize the good shit that is happening because your dark thoughts is clouding your entire bubble. So you can't even see through the thick fog of darkness. Emotional intelligence is super important. And I'm at a point where if you don't have any, or you don't have a desire to gain some, we don't have anything else to talk about.